Hi, Ryan, Hiring Guru here with today's hiring tip. Today we're going to talk about Facebook's job board, kind of how it's progressed, some of the new changes that are coming up, and what you need to do to be prepared to maximize the number of applicants you get from their job board. Make sure you stick around to the end. I'll tell you about how to download our job ad review checklist. It is by far the #1 way to maximize the number of applicants you get from job boards of all types and all sources. All right, so for the past few years, Facebook has been working and building and trying to figure out how to embed and build a job board into their social media platform, right? Right now, they've got it pretty well dialed in as far as the initial starting point. They link your jobs to your employer page. And by that, I mean your Facebook business page, right? They link the jobs up to there. They email those jobs out to people that they believe are a good match to them. They put them, I've seen jobs start showing up inside of my feed as I'm scrolling through different posts on Facebook, right? And so they're starting to get traction. We see on our side, Facebook is generating the second or third highest amount of applicant traffic to our career sites of all the job boards out there. That's a big deal considering they didn't even have a job board that was really viable more than just like a year or two ago. Why does it matter? Well, really simple. 2.8 billion people are active on Facebook. That's a big deal. Now, of these people, right, they spend a significant amount of time on Facebook. It's not just that they're active, they're heavily active on it. And to be honest, where they're active is on their phone. 98% of Facebook users use their mobile device to engage with Facebook. 79% only use mobile. Just think about that for a minute. Who else can say that, right? That is a huge amount. 80% of 2.8 billion people are on Facebook only with their mobile device. So, why does this matter to you as an employer? Well, the fact of the matter is Facebook has a huge audience. In fact, they're most likely your audience. They fit in that age group of the people who are active workers, actively seeking for jobs. Facebook has massive amounts of data, massive amounts of power of advertising, and if Facebook has decided that job boards is what they want to build, there's a really good chance that they're going to be able to drive a significant amount of traffic to your jobs that are on there. Now, the interesting thing about building job boards, what we saw with Google for Jobs come out, is that if you want to create an effective job board, it actually takes a handful of ingredients, kind of like baking a cake, and if you leave one out, it doesn't work, right? It takes having jobs. So Facebook is starting to go to applicant tracking systems like us and inhale all the jobs. You need a base level of jobs or the job seekers won't find those jobs interesting. Number 2, you need to get the job seekers to see the jobs, right? Google did this by embedding their Google for Jobs inside the search feed. Facebook does this by emailing the jobs out and by embedding the job ads inside of the actual stream that you're filtering through. And number 3 is the most important, and to be honest, where Google fell flat. You need to keep the job seeker on your site to apply. You need to ensure that the friction is extremely low, and this becomes even more important if those job seekers are on mobile phones. When you have a job seeker leave your job board and go to an applicant tracking system or a career site to apply, you instantly lose 80% of all those job seekers. They never actually finish applying. It actually harms applicant flow. And so what we're seeing right now with Facebook is them starting to introduce and expand their apply setup. What that means is that job seekers apply on Facebook and that information is transmitted over to the applicant tracking system. In order for that to work, there's a handful of things. Number 1 is the ability to get their resume and their contact info. Over time, as job seekers start to apply using that, they'll start storing that information on there, and it will become more and more powerful as they go. Number 2, and most important, is the ability to gather job questions. This is a new feature that Facebook has got that I know our team is currently working through, making sure that we're able to capture screening questions and information such as even race, gender, vets, disabled, right there on Facebook as people apply. And then porting that information over into the applicant tracking system. Why is this so important? Well, like I said, it decreases friction. When you decrease friction, you increase flow. And that's like you think about that when it comes to water pipes. Think about when it comes to water slides. It's the same when it comes to generating applicants. If you decrease friction, then you will increase the flow. That isn't lazy job seekers getting through. It's high quality job seekers that don't want their time wasted that suddenly feel like it's easier for them to apply to your jobs. And that is crazy, crazy important. They don't have to create a new login because they use their Facebook login. Over time, you'll see more and more will have their resume and work history stored on Facebook. They're able to answer the job questions right there on Facebook, and all that information is instantly pushed over to your applicant tracking system. I see this as probably being one of the biggest developments that you're going to see coming out of the COVID whole 2020, whatever you want to call it, roller coaster, is the appearance of Facebook as a viable contender in the job board space, where you've got the big dogs of ZipRecruiter and Indeed and Google for Jobs, and you'll now have Facebook and LinkedIn coming into the fray and actually showing what they can do in their respective niches of having all of this data and all of these eyeballs for extended periods of time inside their platform. So I'm super excited about Facebook having a job board. I'm excited about our integrations with them as well as all the other job boards, because the more applicants that employers get, the more their jobs get out in front of people, and the more people applying, the better quality of hire they can produce by having more people to pick from. So if your applicant tracking system doesn't have an integration for Facebook, specifically not just posting new jobs, but allowing people to apply through Facebook Apply, you need to start talking to them about getting on the ball, because this is where you will see the biggest impact and the biggest applicant flow coming from Facebook from a social media standpoint. Now, I told you if you stuck around to the end, I'd provide you with a download option. We have our job ad review checklist. It is like the top 10 things that you can look at on your job to make sure that it will produce the greatest results. This includes making sure you got the right keywords so people actually find it, making sure your ad is actually engaging so people will actually read the whole thing, ensuring that you have solid calls to action, that you've made your case about why this is a great opportunity for the job seeker so that they'll want to not just start applying, but finish applying and show up to the interview, which is important. So just think about your job ad as an investment in the emotional bank account between your company and the job seeker. And this is by far one of the greatest opportunities you have to make a first impression on this job seeker, is in that job ad, ensuring that it actually tells them why they should care, why they should want to work for you. So download our job ad review checklist. It'll walk you step by step through being able to analyze your job ads and figure out how to make them better, so that as the economy opens back up, as you get back out there and hiring, you will generate the highest number of qualified applicants for your job. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, good luck hiring.